Hello everyone, my name is Jennifer and welcome to Best Kept Plans. Today's video is going to be a budget with me for the paycheck that I'm receiving on July 2nd, 2026 using my Budget by Paycheck workbook from the Budget Mom. If you're interested in seeing that, please stick around. Here we are in my July monthly spread. July is a very exciting month because it is a 3 paycheck month for me. It's also an exciting month because I found out, I think in March, that I was going to be getting a market adjustment at my job, which is basically a raise. And that is going to be going into effect the second paycheck in the month of July. So I'm looking forward to that as well. My rent for July was paid with my last paycheck in June. So for this budget with me, we're going to be focusing on the bills that are listed in pink. And I'm going to flip on over to our budget tracker so that we can look at some details. So starting in our inflow section, I am budgeting my income to be $3,300, which is what I've been budgeting it to be in 2026. We do have a few bills that we need to pay. We're paying Libra FM for $20, Spotify for $15, Kindle for $20, and Optimum for $185. If I add those bills up, they do equal $240, and if I subtract that from the $3,300 we budgeted income to be, we're left with $3,060, which is what I'm bringing down to my variable expense section. Now, I have been leaving my variable expense section alone, even though I have been overspending in food, and in the month of June, it was my first month actually overspending in gas. I think the gas one, I want to say it was just a month of June fluke with the way that I had to put gas in my vehicle that month. I put gas in my car 3 times instead of its usual 2. And the last time I put gas in, it was the day before the end of the month. So I'm hoping that was just a little bit of a fluke, but we'll see what the next couple of months have in store. I've been getting away with spending over my food budget because earlier this year I combined in my household sinking fund into that food account. And instead of taking my extra food money at the end of every pay period and putting it into house savings, I'm just leaving it in that food account. So I had some built up money in that account that has made it okay that I've overspent the last few months. But I may need to think about making this like 350 every pay period instead of 300 if that trend continues. I am, for this budget, going to be putting 300 into food, 50 into gas, and 150 into miscellaneous. All of that added together does equal $500. And if I subtract that from the $3,060 we were left with after bills, I have $2,560 that I'm going to be bringing up to the savings goals or sinking funds section. Right now, we're only working on my rolling sinking funds. These are sinking funds that have no monetary goal. I put the same amount towards them every single pay period, no matter what, every single pay period of every year. Now, I did make a little bit of a change, a couple of changes, I think, since my last budget with me. Giving is getting its usual 50, home maintenance its usual 100, baby is getting 20, which I went down on a few pay periods ago. Travel is getting more than usual. It's getting 750. It normally gets 100 because this is a pay period where I don't have a lot of high bills and I have a little bit more wiggle room in my budget. I want to be able to get this travel sinking fund up a little higher. I don't have much in there right now after going on, a couple trips this year and they were both kind of right in a row. So I like to bump up that account quickly if I can. And so I'm choosing to put extra towards it with this pay period. Personal is getting its usual 20, which was a dip from 30 that I implemented a few pay periods ago. And then car maintenance, it was getting 65. I want it to be getting more of an even number. So I have bumped that up to $100. all of my sinking funds together do equal $1,040. And if I subtract that from the 2,560 we were left with after bills and variable expenses, we have $1,520 left to play with. I'm planning on putting 320 of that towards my Nelnet student loan, and then the rest, 1,200, is going to go right into my house savings. Now I'm going to flip the page over so that way we can take just a quick look at my cash envelope breakdown. Nothing all that exciting happening on this page. I do have my gas and my miscellaneous listed here. I don't put food on here because that is a separate checking account at my credit union. And we do have all of my sinking funds listed. I always go with largest denominations possible to make it easier. All of this added together does equal 1,240. And that's what you're going to see me stuffing into my envelopes when my cash envelope stuffing posts in a few days. And with that, we are done with my budget for July 2nd, 2026. Excited for this budget, excited to be putting more towards travel, putting a little bit towards my debt, and then putting a bunch towards house savings, which is very exciting. I hope that you all enjoyed this budget with me. If you have any questions about the way that I budget, the products that I use, please do not hesitate to put a comment down below. And as always, everyone, please be safe. Bye-bye.